I'm going to tell you, he always likes to say people have Trump derangement. But I feel like he's got Obama and Biden derangement syndrome.
Yeah, I think he does. Obama lives rent-free in his head, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
What he's doing is he's thinking, if I make sure that the soldiers have what they need, they'll back me in what I want. See? So, listen.
The ladies of The View had a full-on Trump deranged meltdown after President Trump addressed the nation. They accused him of bribing our troops and being obsessed with Obama. Let's get into it.
I'm going to tell you, if he says that people, he always likes to say people have Trump derangement. But I feel like he's got Obama and Biden derangement syndrome.
Yeah, I think he does.
Because, he said there, I don't know how many times you can't keep going to that well. That well is dry. This is on you.
Everything.
You did this. This is what you've put together. It's not them. It's nobody but you. It's you.
Really? As if they have any room to talk about someone being deranged. So we're just going to pretend like there's been a time in the last 10 years where they had a show without mentioning Trump's name. And it's not just them. Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Rachel Maddow, the list could go on. It's like they're all consumed by Donald Trump. They're so consumed that they can't even think straight. And they never have anything nice to say. It's like I said in my last video where Rachel Maddow received the Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Political Journalism. And she claimed that the biggest story of the ages was the protest against Trump. Because Trump lives rent-free in their heads. And let's be honest, Trump derangement is very profitable for them.
We all agree, though, that this is so juvenile and unhinged that it is beneath the dignity of the President of the United States.
I don't know if he's ever...
While Americans worry vital issues like the economy and healthcare, you know who is focused on projects like building a presidential wall of fame in the White House. And installing plaques under their portraits in order to trash their accomplishments. So is this what voters want him to be spending his time and our money on?
He blames it's about Obama's economy, it's Biden's economy. It's funny because he puts his name on everything, but not this, you know? And every single one of them, this is what he says about, I want to read what he says about Barack Obama, because we love Barack Obama, and it's wrong of him. He writes, and he acts like this is real in history. A community organizer, one-term senator from Illinois, and one of the most divisive political figures in American history. Why? Because he was black? Why?
No.
Everything is about race with him.
You really can't make this stuff up. So apparently everything with Trump is about race. Okay, if they say so, I guess that's their truth. That's like Joy saying what's written on that plaque isn't true. But I understand they're allergic to facts, and they have to twist and spin everything to fit the narrative. But honestly, can you name one good thing that Obama did for our country? Exactly. But for some reason, Joy believes that Trump should be kicked out of the White House for speaking ill about their precious Obama. Please, he still continues to be one of the most divisive political figures of our time.
With him.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, it might also be the jealousy of how well he did. It for people that...
Well, Obama lives rent-free in his head, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He will never be the type of President Obama was. He's not going to win that
But when
Nobel
are they
Peace
going
Prize.
to invoke the 25th Amendment? Does he have to run naked into the White House or what? What is that amendment for, if not for this?
He's doing this to trigger people. He wants people to get
troll,
outraged and to troll.
Right.
It's what he does.
Okay, now you know they're completely detached from reality. To think that President Trump is somehow jealous of Obama. So one minute he's racist against Obama, and the next he's jealous of him. It's funny how for the last 4 years, these hens sat quietly while Biden couldn't even find his way off stage. Yet, they believe Trump should be removed by the 25th Amendment, all because he's critical of a former president.
The one thing I'll give him credit on is this bonuses to troops. He's giving him basically $1,700.
Let's see if they get the...
Well,
I want to see
it
them
is
get
coming
it
the money
first.
coming from?
He says tariff revenue. That's what I'm most intrigued to see if that's actually the case.
Sonny wants to know where the money came from. That's funny. I never heard them ask where the money for the migrants came from, not even once. There was zero outrage about that. But these harpies have the audacity to smear Trump for giving our troops a bonus before Christmas? It's funny because they didn't say a word about our military families having to rely on food banks to eat. And as if that wasn't enough, we have mainstream media acting as if this bonus is just crumbs. And Whoopi, well, she believes this is all part of some bigger scheme.
And he can promote 1776 costs all he wants and giving out a check. That worked for him the first time. 1776, that's less than a rent check in D.C. I don't even know what the impact of that is going to be. I want to bring.
What he's doing is he's thinking, if I make sure that the soldiers have what they need, they'll back me in what I want. See? So listen, he threw, what is the lady's name, who did the Vanity Fair?
Oh, Caroline Levitt?
No.
Susie Wiles.
Susie Wiles. He threw her under the bus and said she made him do it.
Yeah.
And I said, is she the devil?
Yeah.
Because you said the devil made me do it. Okay, you do that. But you saying Susie Wiles made you give that speech of inaccurate information?
Yeah.
She wanted you to lie? Come on, man. Come on.
Like they say, if he's moving his lips, he's lying. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but did Joy just say that Trump lies every time he opens his mouth? So we should just conveniently ignore the extensive record of documented lies from both Biden and Obama.
So let's get back into the time machine. Let's go back to 1987. Then Senator Joe Biden, he was 44. No signs of dementia, senility then. And for some reason, bragging about how smart he was.
I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect. I went to law school on a full academic scholarship and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. And I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours.
Okay. Here are the facts. He got a half scholarship and not a full one, and it was based on financial need, not in his great intellect. The next lie.
30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robbins Island.
It's Soweto, isn't it? Anyway, the Washington Post actually gave Biden 4 Pinocchios on that one and said there's no evidence to support it. All right, there's another arrest story, though, this time while he was protesting for civil rights.
Because I'm so damn old, I was there as well. Seems like yesterday, the first time I got arrested. Anyway.
All right, the New York Times said there is no evidence that he was ever arrested during a civil rights protest. Well, that has to be it, right? No, there's more. Biden claimed he watched the Pittsburgh Bridge collapse, and with his own eyes.
Pittsburgh is a city of bridges, more bridges in Pittsburgh than any other city in America. I watched that bridge collapse. I got there and saw it collapse.
Didn't happen unless he has owl-like eyesight, because from the pool reports that day, the president had been told of the bridge collapse in Pittsburgh. He wasn't there. Now, I could keep this going all night. Okay, one more.
I used to drive an 18-wheeler, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish
I
I
could. That's
I
awesome.
got to.
I used to drive a tractor trailer.
Oh, awesome.
And so I know a little bit about driving big trucks.
And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. I could literally make a whole video covering all of Biden's lies, but I'm afraid it would be like 100 hours long. And what about Obama? She wasn't calling Obama a liar after he repeatedly lied about the Affordable Care Act.
Here in the States, we're still working out some of the fine print on our new healthcare system. Right now, there's been some talk that the President of the United States was less than 100% honest with some of his healthcare rhetoric.
If you like your current plan, you will be able to keep it.
Did he just say if we like our current plan, we'll be able to keep it?
Let me repeat that. If you like your plan, you'll be able to keep it.
I thought that was what you said.
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
Want to add any caveats to that? Because it sounds kind of definitive.
We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period. If you like your health care plan, you will be able to keep your health care plan, period.
Period!
We do this because we have to. Okay, this is our job. It's our job to talk about all this all the time. But you know what you don't have to do? You don't have to pay attention to ridiculousness like this. You don't have to pay attention to it. You don't have to give it any energy. You don't have to acknowledge it. We know what kind of president All of these presidents were. A great many of us were alive under many of them. So we know what went on. This is for people who just know the truth and don't want to live in the real world, okay? No president is perfect. None of them have been perfect.
And they'll be coming down the next administration anyway. No one's going to leave that up.
Okay, so Whoopi actually said that Trump believes if he quote-unquote takes care of the soldiers, then they'll somehow back him. So let me get this straight. She's basically suggesting that our service members would just abandon their oath, their training, and the Constitution itself for personal gain. That is not only vile, but an insult to every single service member in our military. And Sunny also made a comment that really got under my skin. She wanted to know where the money came from. What a hypocrite. These same women never raised any concerns about where the money came from when billions were spent on housing, healthcare, transportation, and cash assistance for illegal immigrants. Not one concern. And there was no accusation of bribery either. There was no panic, and there was absolutely no mention of ulterior motives. And I definitely don't recall them ever criticizing Biden's student loan forgiveness. You know, I actually did the math. A $1,776 bonus multiplied by roughly 1.5 million service members comes out to about $2.6 billion, right? And Sunny wants to know where that money's going to come from. But what about the $1 billion+ Somali fraud scandal? Where's the outrage for that? Because they don't seem to have an opinion on that. I don't see her demanding answers for that. But when the president wants to give our troops a Christmas bonus, then suddenly every dollar must be interrogated? And let's not forget how they conveniently ignore that for years there have been documented stories of military families having to rely on food banks to feed their families. Because it's not so easy for them to get SNAP benefits as it is for certain others. But my question still remains, where's the outrage for that? There isn't any. Because that kind of suffering doesn't interest them. It doesn't fit their narrative. But all of a sudden, because Trump is giving our military members a one-time bonus that's meant to acknowledge their service and sacrifice, apparently that's enough to trigger conspiracy theories and smear the integrity of our armed forces. Do you recall Biden or Obama doing anything for our military? I'm just asking. I really want to know. So, according to The View, Trump shouldn't be showing support to our troops or criticizing Obama. I find it almost comical that Joy believes the 25th Amendment should be invoked because Trump criticized Obama. They love Obama so much. These women act like Obama and Biden are somehow above criticism. And just because Obama is black, any criticism he receives is automatically racism. That's the rule they've invented. No one is allowed to question Obama without having their motives smeared. How convenient. At the end of the day, no one is safe from Trump's criticism. It doesn't matter what your race, gender, or party is. If he has something to say, he's going to say it. I think this is just another example of how The View desperately clings to the only framework they have left, which is identity politics. Even Whoopi admitted in so many words that this is what they're paid to do. I guess to protect certain figures at all costs, while demonizing others no matter the facts. And as bad as they want to describe Obama's presidency as historic and symbolic while trashing Trump, they fail to acknowledge that the so-called president of hope and change basically destabilized healthcare for millions of Americans and normalized viewing everything through the lens of race, gender, and sexual identity, causing a division that still plagues our country to this day. And Biden's presidency basically followed in those same footsteps, yet the media relentlessly shielded him while inflation exploded, the cost of living became unsustainable, and the border descended into chaos. And it seemed like all criticism was either dismissed, censored, deflected, ignored, or labeled as disinformation. It's disgusting and pathetic how they constantly praise Obama and Biden endlessly while refusing to say one single positive word about Trump, no matter what he accomplishes. But at the end of the day, he doesn't need their validation. His results speak louder than their narratives, at least in my opinion.